So the question is, how do you change the picture? Over the years, I've asked audiences all over the world, and I mean that literally, to identify for me what are the qualities that you would like to see in your boss, or if you're a boss, what qualities would you like to see or have in your employees? Now, for the live audience, the outline or the sheet of paper that you've been given contains a list of these qualities. I'm going to go over them simply because as you listen to this, you will need to start hearing these words, and as you listen over and over and over a period of time, they will become a part of you. Now, here's something very important. I hope you've got a pen, and I hope you in the live audience will follow me, and I hope as you're listening to this tape that you will answer this question in your own mind. Every time I call out a word, I want you to think to yourself, and in the live audience, write it down, either an A or an S. Is that quality an attitude or is it a skill? I'm going to go down the list. Honest, intelligent, goals, organized, responsible, commitment, punctual, self-starter, optimistic, enthusiastic, motivated, decisive, focused, disciplined, persistent, positive mental attitude, team player, energetic, competent, self-image, and common sense. Now, those words will be familiar that I've gone through so far. Until we got to the word common sense, I was going exactly down the list of qualities that you put to work when you go to the day before vacation attitude. Now, the second list of words, manners, gratitude, teachable, dependable, pride, diligent, thrifty, resourceful, extra-miler, sober, loyal, respectful, caring, affectionate, supportive, sincere, attentive, personable, open-minded, a good finder, and educated. That's the second list of words there that I'm including. Now, remember, mark each one in your mind. Is it an attitude or is it a skill? Then on the third column, passion, convictions, encourager, vision, faith, wisdom, courage, confident, humble, smart, hard worker, authoritative, self-control, fair, communicator, consistent, creative, knowledgeable, humor, a good listener, teacher, and integrity. What I want you to think in terms of is, are those words attitudes or skills? Now I'd like to get you to add a couple of more words there, and that is servant's attitude and obedience. Now those are two words that in modern society people don't get overly enthusiastic about. Let me share with you a story. Lou Holtz is a good friend of mine. I've had the privilege of speaking to his team. He told me something that absolutely fascinates me. At the table there were student assistants, student managers, and there were a couple of assistant coaches. And every few minutes, one of the assistant coaches, or Lou, would say something, and this student manager would hop up, and in a dead run, I mean, without hesitation, they would be off to the races to do whatever he had been or she had been told to do. None of the student managers that I saw had more than 3 bites of dinner. Lou Holtz told me that in the freshman year, they have 250, roughly, student managers that come in and want to be student managers. By the end of the senior year, approximately 40 of them are left. And Lou said when he travels the country and he bumps into somebody and they say, Coach Holtz, when I was at Notre Dame, For 4 years, I was a student manager. Lou said he always has the same question to ask of them. Well, let me ask you a question. What company are you running today? Or what company are you the vice president or president of? And he said almost never does he have them say anything but, well, I'm the CEO of, or I own my business and last year we did. Phenomenal. Now, why would that be? You see, two big things really. Obedience. You got to learn to obey before you can learn to lead. So important. That servant's attitude. You know, God Himself said, he who would be the greatest among you must become the servant of all. Now, let's see if we can go back and tie all of this together with that Ben Hooper story. You see, little Ben Hooper went to church one day. He caught a glimpse of that hope, and he loved the looks of it. He was back there the next Sunday, and the next, and the next, and the next. He always got there late. He always left early. Did not want any attention. On about the 6th or the 7th Sunday, the message was so moving, so powerful, so encouraging that he forgot all about the time. He did not even notice that there were people who had come in and sat down behind him. Suddenly, the message appeared to him as if there were an overhead looking right at him, and it said, for you, little Ben Hooper of unknown heritage, there is hope in the future. He got so carried away with it, he forgot about everything, and suddenly the message was over. He stood up expecting to run out again as he had in weeks gone past, but this time the aisles were clogged, he couldn't get through. As he was trying, he felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned, he looked around, he looked up. He was looking right into the eyes of the young pastor who asked him a question which had been on the minds of everybody there for the last 12 years. Whose boy are you? Instantly the church grew deathly quiet. You could have heard that proverbial pin drop. Then slowly a smile started to come across the face of the young minister, till he broke into a huge grin. And then he said, oh, I know whose boy you are. Why, the family resemblance? Son, unmistakable. You are a child of God. And with that, he swatted him across the rear and said, that's quite an inheritance you got there, boy. Now go and see to it that you live up to it. Many, many years later, little Ben Hooper said that was the day he was elected governor of the state of Tennessee and later re-elected. To be candid, I lost my earthly father when I was 5 years old. I met my heavenly Father when I was 45 years old. I don't remember my earthly father. I can never forget my heavenly Father. When I became a child of the King, that's when everything changed. When I started looking at biblical truths about success. Now, I check them out psychologically and theologically because a lot of people want to have all the bases touched. And so I've been able to secure tremendous endorsements from all three of those disciplines. And I only mention that to say, you see, at age 45, I was stone broken in debt. Had been working hard all of my life. Have always been optimistic. I'm the kind of guy that put a dime in the parking meter while my wife goes shopping. I mean, that's my basic nature. I'd go after Moby Dick in a rowboat and take the tartar sauce with me. Nothing really happened. Nothing really happened until I looked at just who I was. That's the reason I keep saying, you see, you got to be before you can do. You got to do before you can have. Maybe my favorite expression is the fact that failure is an event. It's not a person. Yesterday really did end last night. Today is a brand new day, and the day is yours.